Creating a recipe is one of the fundamental aspects of the food processor. You will use the recipes you make and the recipes or ingredients in the database to create diet recalls for your clients. First thing we do here is go to New Recipe, and then you have to type in a name. I'm going to call this one Jane's Scrambled Tofu. You also have to either select a serving weight or enter how many servings the recipe makes. In this case, it makes 4 servings. So click OK, and then we will get right to our recipe enter screen. Now what you do here is you search for my first ingredient, tofu, by typing in tofu, and then when the results come up here, I select the correct one, in this case tofu extra firm, and enter 12 ounces. Click OK, and that will appear in my list, my recipe list. Do the same thing for the remaining ingredients. I'm going to enter some turmeric and some nutritional yeast and some olive oil. Now, you don't have to use whole words. You can use partial words like I did for nutritional yeast here, and it will still return anything that matches those words. So enter quantity and measure here, and then I will get to my last ingredient, which is olive oil. A couple tablespoons of that, and then I will save my recipe. Like you should, save your work often. And now I'm going to show you what other options you have when you edit your recipe. So click Edit Recipe up here. Nutrients, this shows you the calculated value of all the nutrients in your recipe, and then for 1 serving. And then measures, this is where you would enter a household measure, something common like a cup or a serving. Cost, if you needed to make a list for shopping, you could calculate costs here or enter costs here. Now groups are useful for organization purposes or future searches, especially if your list of ingredient or recipes gets extensive. This is where you would compare your recipe to either a generic profile or somebody that you created, like in this case, Jane Doe, my client Jane Doe. I will compare this recipe to her recommendations. Okay, and then once we've done that, then I want to show you some reports. I'm going to show you the multi-column report, and this is a good overall nutrient summary. It shows you how many, it shows you what is the value of all your nutrients per serving, and then per 100 grams. This is the single nutrient report. It shows you which item in your recipe contributes the most of which nutrient to the recipe. So, olive oil contributes the most fat here. Now, you might want to take this time and look over some other reports and check out our other tutorials on our YouTube site. And thank you for joining me.